Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Sandra here. Thank you for joining me today back on Plant Rich Sandra. I'm still talking about some things that I have learned from my personal experience to be very helpful in maintaining my momentum and keeping my plan sustainable. And that is what I would like to talk about tonight, is to continue with my little list of tips that will help. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, if you'll go back just a couple of episodes, you are going to hear, first of all, you're going to hear 5 ways to transition from a standard American diet into a nutrient-dense, plant-rich diet about 2 episodes ago. And then in the previous episode, I talked about how be expect to feel a little bit crappy in the beginning because of detoxification. I also talked about how important affirmations or mantras can be in helping you to stay on plan. They could be some that you've made up, or they could be some that you've picked up from other people. And not every mantra is going to mean anything to you, as I said in that episode. But when you stumble across a gem that really resonates with you, it can just mean all the difference. Sometimes it is the only thing that keeps you on track is a good mantra, and you repeat it to yourself. So I do recommend that you start collecting affirmations that have personal meaning for you because of your own experiences as you have traveled through your journey of trying to gain your health or regain your health. So tonight I have 4 more tips that I would like to offer you. The first tip for this evening is make a list of all of your whys. Write them down. Write each one on its own index card, or just get a piece of notebook paper and start writing them down. Why do you want to gain your health back? Why do you want to lose weight? What are your reasons? So for me, when I discovered after the fact that my migraines were gone, I don't ever want another migraine in my life. They debilitated me. I never had the ones where I was seeing visions, and I never blacked out, but they were like a freight train, just pound, pound. With every beat of my heart, I felt it pounding up here. It was just boom, boom, boom. And I was not able to lie down in my bed. I could not be horizontal. I had to get up, and I had to go to the recliner. I had to get a wet washcloth and put it on my forehead, fold it, and then every few minutes flip it. And I would lie there for like at least 2 hours and try to sleep in my recliner. And whenever I would wake up and doze, I would flip that washcloth. And after 2 hours, maybe I was able to get rid of it if I caught it early enough. But migraines were a horrible thing. And I know that a lot of people suffer from migraines, not just women, but men too, that have migraines. So that is a very, very, very big why for me, is my migraines went away. I don't know if it was giving up the dairy or what it was, but something in this nutrient-dense, plant-rich life got rid of my migraines. So I'm very grateful for that. Here's another why. What are some things that you've always wanted to do that you technically could do in your future, in your present and your future, if you, fill in the blank, were to get healthier, were to lose weight, were to be able to bring down your blood pressure, were to be able to bring down your cholesterol? What are some things that you would like to do? Would you like to take your grandchild to horseback riding lessons and join them on horseback riding lessons? Would you like to take them to the beach and be able to feel comfortable getting down on the sand and playing with them in your swimsuit instead of going out there wearing a t-shirt and shorts because you're too embarrassed to be seen? Would you like to go for long walks with your grandkids, with your kids? Would you like to take them out for hikes? Would you like to go up for a nice long bike ride? Would you like to teach them many things? Would you like to do that you are not able to do right now? Make a list of the things that you would like to do. I always wanted to tandem jump out of an airplane, but at 250, I was never going to do it. And one other thing that happened when my ex-husband and I when our son Devin was 3, he was very young, and we were up in the mountains, and we wanted to go to one of those stables and ride horses in the mountains. Actually, I think Devin was maybe a year old at the time, and so our plan was to, because my ex-husband had ridden horses before, so he was going to put Devin in the seat in front of him, in the saddle in front of him, and then I was going to be in hopefully on a tame horse and be able to do this, to be horseback riding. And we get there, and the people looked at both of us, me and my ex-husband, and said, "I'm very, very sorry, folks, but we do have a weight limit, and I'm sorry to say both of you are over the weight." They never even asked to weigh us. They just looked at us and said, "You're over the weight limit." So that I always kept that in the back of my mind, that I was too big to ride a horse. And that particular stable up in the Blue Ridge Mountains would not let us, and that always stuck in my head, that I was not able to. And there have been times when my granddaughter was young, I would take her to Legoland, and I was not able to ride a roller coaster that had the lock that came down over you. They were like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am, but look, we can't get it closed." And that happened on more than one ride, that I had to get up and make the walk of shame and get out of the ride. And then my granddaughter rode with another adult or with a child, and she rode the ride without me. And I don't want that ever again to happen. So that's a huge why for me. The first time that I was able to ride the Beagle Mounts at Legoland, the first time we went, and they have one adult seat in the middle. Then they have like 3 child seats to the right, 3 child seats to the left, and one adult can ride at a time. And they sit in that seat, but the thing has to lock down over you and snap between your legs there. It has to snap down, and then you hang on like this, and the ride goes up, and then it bounces you down like that, called the Beetle Bounce. And so I tried to get in, and the man was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but it won't close." I'm like, okay. So I got up and got off, and another adult sat down and rode the ride, and my granddaughter was so scared. It was her first time, and I felt like this. I felt like complete crap that I could not ride that ride with my granddaughter. And every time and then it was right after that first visit that I became a nutritarian. And every time I would go, I would look at it like, let me try this time. And I remember the time that I said, I think this is it. I had this feeling, I think this is it. And I got in, I said, "Let's try this, sir, and let's see if I fit." And he snapped it down, and it was tight, but it fit, and I was so excited. And when we got off the ride, I said, "Siri, let's get back on." And I handed my phone to a complete stranger, and I said, "I'm so sorry, but can you take my picture? Because today is the first time I'm able to ride this ride. I've gotten down small enough I can ride it." And that's a big why for me, is that I can do things now with my granddaughter that I physically, literally was not able to do before. And so that's a humongous why for me. Another one is that I don't have sciatica. I don't have pain running down my right leg because of my weight on my body, weighing down that right leg with the cutting off the nerve. And I started getting sciatica many years ago when I was pregnant the first time, and I had it for years. I had sciatica, and I would have to stop and sit down and pound on my right leg and try to get feeling back into it. I had numbness and pain at the same time. I don't know how that's possible, but I had numbness and pain, and I'd have to bang on my leg to get the feeling back and rub it. And one time I held up an entire bus full of people in London with me having to stop, and they had to wait on me to sit down on a stoop and pound on my leg and get feeling back before we could keep walking. And we were in a hurry, and we were trying to get down to Buckingham Palace to see the Queen step out on the balcony for her official birthday with the entire family, and we almost didn't make it because of me. So that kind of thing, that's another humongous why for me, is not holding up other people because I am the slow one, or because I have to stop because of something to do with my bad health or my weight. So that's another why for me personally. And Charley Horses. I am so happy now. I have not had a Charley horse since I became a nutritarian. And the day I realized that I had not had one in a long time was a huge moment for me. So that's another humongous why for me, is no more Charley horses. Another one is sometimes I'd be sitting doing nothing, minding my own business, and my heart would just start going boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, what? I'm not even doing anything. I'm sitting here, or I'm lying in my bed, and my heart just like that. And I have not had any of that since I've become a nutritarian. So that's another humongous why for me. And I do still snore a little bit, but I used to snore really bad, and it was embarrassing. And I would always get hotel rooms by myself because of my snoring. And so that's another huge why for me, is that my sinuses have cleared up quite a bit. And so I don't have to deal with that anymore. I just snore a little bit now. Okay, the next one is my cholesterol. I remember, I remember once when I got my results back from fasting blood work and my triglycerides, and it was like way over the acceptable high limit. And I'm like, oh God, my triglycerides were terrible. And I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? And so, of course, at the time I didn't do anything concrete to bring them down until I finally decided to become a nutritarian and take my health and my future very, very seriously. And my weight came along right with it too. But originally I was thinking my health was my number one concern. But my cholesterol is awesome now. My cholesterol is perfect. And another thing was, they used to tell me I couldn't donate blood because my iron was too low to donate blood. Now, I don't donate blood now because I found out that I do have bradycardia, and a cardiologist told me just stop donating blood. Your blood, you do have fine, your iron is good now, but just don't donate blood because of your bradycardia. So, but knowing now that I'm no longer borderline anemic is another why, to keep my iron. And I was a meat eater and I was borderline anemic. And now I eat absolutely no animal products, and my iron is awesome because of a plant-rich, nutrient-dense diet, a daily diet. That's the reason. Okay, I'm getting the iron that I actually should have been getting all along from plants. That's the secret ingredient here. My diabetic symptoms went away, and I wanted to mention this. I recall years ago. People always say, you need to drink 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. And I'm like, okay. And I said, oh, no problem for me. I'm thirsty all the time. I'm drink water all the time. Thirsty all the time. I thought it's got to be because I talk a lot in class. I teach a lot and I'm talking a lot. That's why I'm so thirsty all the time. But hey, no problem here. I'll drink my water. And then one day I read somebody said in some sort of a forum, this was way before I became a nutritarian, they said something about, if you are consuming a lot of water naturally in your plant, in your fruits and vegetables, you actually don't need to drink 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. I'm like, that's crazy. What kind of bad advice is that? No, the water content in fruits and vegetables is not enough to be getting the water that your body needs. That's nuts. Then later, I became a nutritarian. Never crossed my mind again. I didn't even think about that comment anymore, or that because I had been drinking so much water. I became a nutritarian. I cut out salt. And I start eating lots and lots of fresh and frozen produce and gently cooked produce. No salt. It happened without my even knowing it, but I basically stopped drinking a lot of water, and almost down to like maybe a cup or two of water a day. Not glasses, not bottles. I'm just talking a cup or two. But I was going to the bathroom all the time, and I still go to the bathroom all the time. And I realized, okay, now I see what that fellow was talking about. I get it now. I was looking at it from a completely ignorant perspective, and I had no clue what he was talking about. But now I understand from my own personal experience that no, if you are eating a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables a day, and frozen fruits and gently cooked vegetables, then you are getting your water intake naturally filtered through your plants, through your plant products. And so no, you don't actually need to drink a lot of extra water. If I drank 6 to 8 glasses of water now, in addition to all the produce that I consume every day, I'd never come out of the bathroom. I'm getting plenty. I'm very hydrated, plus because I do not consume adding salt to anything. It's only the natural sodium in my food. I am not thirsty. I'm not needing extra water for the extra sodium. I'm only getting the natural sodium. So that is just a point I just wanted to make about the intake of water. Another thing, excuse me, heartburn. The first time I experienced heartburn, I thought I was having a heart attack. And those of y'all who have had heartburn before, and you may recall the first time you ever had it, you know what I'm talking about. You feel it right here, and you think, is this what a heart attack feels like? And it was my ex-mother-in-law's fried chicken. She loved frying chicken super, super slowly. I mean, just the minimum temperature. She did not fry quickly. She wanted it to be soak up the fat, soak up the oil. So it was like that, Kentucky Fried Chicken original. You know how greasy Kentucky Fried Chicken original is, as compared to their whatever, what do they call it, extra crispy, whatever they call their second thing that came along. Okay, it's extremely greasy. They cook it slowly. And so I was there at my mother-in-law and my father-in-law's house, the family, we were there, and I ate some of her fried chicken thighs that she had cooked really slowly. And within a few minutes, I'm like, what the heck? It's like, I'm like, oh my God. And I had to go lie down in the old bedroom of my ex-husband. I had to go in there, and I was literally curled up in a fetal position. Like, am I dying? What's going on here? I was scared. I did not know what it was. And when you're not consuming grease, oil, and you're only getting healthy fats through your raw and unsalted nuts and seeds and your avocado, there's no heartburn. There's no heartburn from an overabundance of grease in your diet, especially animal grease. And so that's another why for me to never experience heartburn again. It's an awesome why. Okay, so make a list of your whys. And I could sit here and go on and on. I was always scared to have to get on a plane and walk down the aisle, or walk down the aisle of even a school bus, because got to the point where I was touching the sides. Both my hips, my right and my left hip, were touching the sides of the seats of the school bus. And on an airplane, my body was bumping into people, not just my backpack, my body. Not just my purse, me. I was bumping into people. And so that is a feeling of great discomfort and embarrassment. I don't ever want to experience that again. So that's another humongous why for me, is to never have to go through that now. And I even would hear, and you may or may not have ever felt this way if were ever morbidly obese, or if you're at that point still right now in your journey. I actually heard in my head, whenever I would have to take a step or two back, I would hear beep, 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 beep in my own head regarding myself, that a wide load was trying to back up. Like a garbage truck, when they back up, they automatically start making the beep, beep sound. I could hear that in my own head when I would have to back up somewhere, like on a bus or something. So that's another humongous why for me, is to feel comfortable in my own skin, in my world that I live in. When I walk around now, I feel comfortable emotionally as well as physically. If I need to squeeze through a narrow place, I can now squeeze through a narrow place. Before, I'm like, I can't get through there. I can't get through that. I'd have to go around or whatever. So my list of whys is pretty long. Make a list. And whenever you start feeling like you're about to falter, pull out your list, read your list to yourself, and you're like, yeah, that's a good reason. That's a very good reason. Okay, so that's my first tip for this episode, is to make a list of your whys. Okay, here's the next one, and this is something that I have faltered on many times in my past, and even now as a 100% compliant nutritarian, I still falter on this with our foods. I still do this, and this ties into to the emotional eating aspect. And here it is. If you do mess up, if something happens and some people don't like it when you say fall off the wagon. They said, there's no wagon. There's no wagon to fall off of. So please stop saying fall off the wagon, because that's not what you're doing. But I like that expression, so I'm going to say, if you experience an episode where you fall off the wagon, where you falter a little bit, you stumble, you fall, you eat something, whether it is more of a compliant item or a non-compliant item, standard American diet food, that was not on your plan for that day, try really hard not to adopt this attitude. Well, I've already messed up for today, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead, because I've had a little list in my head of things I've been missing. So since I've already fallen off the wagon for today, what I'm just going to do is just take the rest of today to go ahead and have the items that I've been missing just go ahead and blow on out today. I'll start fresh tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'll get back on plan tomorrow morning. And so all those little things you've had in the back of your head that you've been missing, whatever it might be for you, you go in the kitchen or you run downtown and you get those items. If you had already cleared out your house, but you decide this is it, so you run downtown and you pick up a few things. And I can tell you, for me, back in the past, it might be some of the things, my comfort foods. It might be grits with both cheddar cheese and butter and lots of salt. It might have been the Goodson way of eating French toast. French toast was easier to make than pancakes. So, in my family, we would put three things. We'd put butter and peanut butter and syrup, like cane syrup, on the French toast. Not just butter and syrup. No, no, no. Butter and peanut butter and cane syrup. And I would make not 2 slices, 4 slices. And I would load them up with peanut butter. So if I'd already blown it for the day, I'm like, okay, this is my chance to get, and I've already got the guilt from what I'd already eaten, so let's just do it. And you end up stuffing. You may not get to the binge point, but you get pretty darn miserable, okay, with things. Well, I've also been wanting some of the popcorn actually made in oil. But I don't have any oil because I threw that away last year. It when I've already got rid of it. So let's run down to the Dollar General. We'll get a little bottle of oil. I'll make some popcorn my old-fashioned way. Okay, so now I've had the popcorn. Was there anything else that I've been kind of craving? Oh yeah, I've been craving some Ben & Jerry's butter pecan. Run back down to the Dollar General or go down to the Family Dollar and you get it. Next thing you know, that night you have really done it. Okay, what's going to happen the next day? Do you think that you're really going to wake up saying, okay, it's time, I'm back on the wagon, and that everything is going to be hunky-dory? It's going to be too super tough to get back on after you've had a night of gorging like that. I might be binging, but at least gorging, okay, on that. It is going to be harder. So if you possibly can, tell yourself, look, I just had a little something. So let's stop right there. Let's nip this in the bud. Let that be it, and let me get back on track. So try really hard to stop yourself after that one little falter and get back on track in 5 minutes. Don't tell yourself it'll be the next day. I just want to mention, let it be the next meal that you get back on track, okay? Not the next day. All right, so that is, and the other thing regarding that is show yourself a little grace and don't be so hard on yourself to the point that you say, well, since I blew it today, tomorrow I'm going to be extra I'm going to be extra strict, and I'm not going to have anything but raw vegetables tomorrow, okay? It's not going to work that way. Tomorrow when you wake up, you just resume your normal plan. Because if you try to be draconian with yourself, it'll be another day. You're going to falter, okay? So just resume normal. What is your normal plan? You have your cup of beans or your 2 cups of beans. You have your ounce of nuts. You have your flaxseed. You have your however many fruits you eat in the day. You have your yummies. Don't deprive yourself, because that's going to make it even harder for you to get back on the plan if you suddenly go from gorging to depriving yourself, okay? All right, so I see that I'm at 23, almost 24 minutes right now. This would be a good time for me to go ahead and stop this video. I have 2 more points that I want to make, so I'll put those in another video, not tonight. I'm tired, I'm ready to go home. I'm still in my classroom, and it is 6:21. And Nala is missing me. She's been cooped up in the bedroom all day, so I'm going to head on to the house. But I have 2 more points I want to make in the next episode. And then after that, I plan on doing a really quick overview of G-bombs, give you just a brief idea of what G-bombs are. But I hope that this has been helpful. And I hope that you don't consider that I'm coming down too harsh here on you, because everything I'm saying to you is based on my own experiences. And so I'm just trying to give you an idea of what has been helpful for me. That's all I have to go by. is my experiences to give you some feedback and some guidance here. I'm not a doctor. These are just things that I just wanted to share with you. So everybody have a great evening, and I'm super duper looking forward to seeing you guys again. And if you got anything out of this, please give me a thumbs up. Okay, I'm not getting very many thumbs up. Please give me a thumbs up. And if you really enjoyed this, please be sure and subscribe, and also hit the notification bell so that you will get notified when I come out with a new video. And you know what? I'm good with you sharing on your personal Facebook page. Share it. And there might be people who that you don't even realize that are Facebook friends of yours that might get some benefit from this, that you don't even know are struggling right now. They haven't talked to you about their struggles. So share with them and encourage them to go back and watch some of my older episodes. And that would help me out a lot, okay? Do me a solid here. Love you guys. Thanks again. Have a great evening. We'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.